All right, welcome back, DJ. This is Granblue Radio number 405. Um, it was an exciting time while you were gone, and you had an exciting time, I hear. Uh,
I had many exciting things that happened, and one of which was not planned.
that's good. Yeah, I heard about that one, and that's really cool for you. All
Yep,
right.
but we keep that one on the privates.
All right, anyway, so here we are at the beginning of April. April is going to be a Unite and Fight month, so
Which
one
element is it favored? It's light favored, right?
light favored, yeah. Which is why we got a new light character that was previously unannounced. They always do this, you know. They only announce one of the characters for the post anniversary things, and here we are. We've got Yukata Vicky. But first, before that happened, we had a very old character. I think she's in Classic 2, Rosamia, because her SSR
Star Wars
came in.
Music came out in 2016.
Yeah, so pretty sure that's
That's classic
Classic
too.
2 because she went on the elevator. She went R to SR to SSR, and very few characters have done that because they don't make Rs anymore, except for joke event characters. So anyway, so she had a very like unremarkable rebalance. Uh, the rebalance was, let's see here, it was the
I
28th.
I would like to note
Mm-hmm.
that her stack all defense down used to be 8%.
What a weird number.
Yeah, I don't know what they were on, anyways. But they added also the stacking attack down, standard. But it only goes to 30 instead of 40.
Mm-hmm. And then
And the other part of rebalance was that her ground hold talisman, it went from 100% DA for 40% TA and hostility up for 6 turns to guaranteed TA, supplemental 30k, and full hostility for 5 turns.
yeah, and so it's currently 5 out of 10. But then the thing, this is the weird part. Like weird as in unusual for them. It is not part of the normal pattern. This came out before the actual Uncap came out, and then the Uncap being part of the event was where the rest of these things went.
It's not
So
that unusual. There was I can't remember which character it was, but there was one that actually had the rebalance
yeah,
right before.
yeah. But the usual thing is that, you know, here's the uncap and the rebalance at the same time. That's the wrong Rosamia. I need to go
Were you
much
looking at
older.
Yukata?
Yeah, I was like, I need to go much older. So here's the new Rosamia. Uh, Story related, they changed Curse of the Mask to Power of the Mask. It still has the exact same effect as before, where she cannot be healed while she's under it, but now she's in control of it. So the way that manifests itself is, among other things. So sure, she can't be healed, but it takes advantage of the undying effect that it gives her when she's got power of the mask by saying if she's alive at 1 hit point at the end of a turn, then number one, it takes away power of the mask so that she can heal to full. Then all of her debuffs go away. Then uh, the resonating talisman, which is her new skill one, goes off of cooldown.
So you can put the mask back.
Yeah. And so you put it back on after you've healed to full. And then mask coexistence here. This thing changes so that she gets dark damage reduction and counter on taking damage 2 hits per turn while she has power of the mask on.
And 30% perpetuity.
Hmm.
Those actually kind of add up
Yeah,
when you're a higher level.
right. So her new CA, we get power of the mask. That's part's normal. She gets mitigate damage taken until end of turn, and
That's 3k mitigation is pretty good.
yeah, and while Power of the Mask is in effect, then if you CA, then it gets extra light damage at the end.
If because uh you just need power of the mask in order to have that. Otherwise, you get power of the mask.
Hmm. And then so yeah, so we've got the jammed here. You've got the 4 turns of not being able to be healed. You can there's quote unquote 1 turn of downtime, but it's once again power of the mask. As long as you're actually CAing and you're not on like a falsehood plan or something like that, then she'll just have this up.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'll refresh it should refresh itself.
yeah, and then the last thing on here um, is new skill 4. It's ready in 5 turns with an asterisk. So cooldown is 8, standby is 5. When a light ally uses a skill that consumes HP at all, then both the standby or if you haven't cast it yet, or the cooldown if you have cast it already, go down. Um,
What light allies other than herself consume HP? Because I know ones that can make your max HP go down.
yeah, that's the Moog and Nahans. So among other characters, um, if Cosmos is at more than half HP, then it counts.
Oh yeah, because it lowers its.
Yeah, so Cosmos counts, which is an important one. Gawain counts, and Gawain has been a Unite and Fight star for multiple Unite and Fights. So
Oh yeah,
Gawain
he
down
lowers
here.
it by like 40% or something.
Yeah. Your MC casting Splitting Spirit does it, which is a pretty significant one as well. I'm trying to remember the other ones, but like uh, Cosmos is the one that recasts most often, and often she really does knock her health down just because you're often like slowly gaining HP from her half HP point.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, that makes sense.
um, but yeah, so 3 characters who have it that you'll you know be fine having on, but in a lot of cases she'll provide it to herself with Power of the Mask, and
And
uh,
so, what does she get when she deploys talismans?
all right, so the following things all happen at the same time when she's got talismans deployed. So it's an 8 turn cooldown, it's a 5 turn buff, um, and since she casts Power of the Mask, then it'll be, a 6 or 7 turn cooldown. But anyway, number one, she gets Dispel Cancel, so that her button actually does something. When she presses skill 2, or it activates in general, it casts twice. So this is the light
Okay,
damage, attack and defense down, and so that's the double stack of the debuff. Um, and then
so you get 4 debuffs from that one.
mhm, uh, she gets bonus light damage on her normal attack, so she gets what Light Chaser. And then for the first turn that she does it, she also gets Assassin.
Yeah, I see that one, and also skill 3 goes off cooldown
hmm And so then she will get Supplement along with that Chaser. She gets guaranteed triple attack for that Chaser.
and
Um,
full hostility.
and full hostility, and the full hostility is significant when she's countering for that with her amplified damage, with her, yeah. Um, and so though,
It's pretty good.
yeah, the thing that we've been theory crafting and like practicing, so um, in the fights that we're thinking about, which is Unite and Fights coming up, we have 200, we have 250 coming up. Um, Rosamia is very good at doing a lot of damage in about 5 or 6 turns, tanking a whole bunch of things for you, because she'll tank one of them with full hostility. She'll go down to 1 hit point. She'll heal herself back up to full. She'll tank again, and then quite possibly die. And then while she's doing all of these things, then she dies. Geisenberger or whoever else you have back there comes in, and then you finish the fight with Geisenberger, for example. Like one of the problems with light in trying to build Geisenberger setups is that unless you're bringing like an off element character specifically to bring in Geisenberger, there's not very many like reasonable light characters who are going to do a good job and then fall over. Like most of them like are either bad at dying, like Lunalu for example. Lunalu, goes down to like 1,000 max HP, but then she's just very bad at dying.
Depends on how they write the boss because if
Yeah.
if they make an AoE boss, her tanking doesn't actually do it effectively do anything
hmm
because everyone's getting hit.
But if they do, for example, lots of little hits, then the mitigation from her CA plus um, full hostility from Groundhold Talisman will do a lot of work. So there's a few things that are in theory going to be very good about this. In practice, we will have to see.
Oh,
But
I expect this boss to hit me like a billion times with large hits because Geisenberger exists.
mm,
Because that's how they balance Geisenberger is either make it so they have off element attacks, which they have done,
yep, that's what Agastia does.
or they hit you multiple times for big hits, and it's
hmm
like, okay, why did even who can even survive this at this point?
Right. And
And then
so
we go
yeah,
back to Fuff.
yeah. But this is one of those ones where it's pretty practical. Like it's not necessarily flashy, but it's just very solid at what it does, which is tank for a while, um, and then depending on how they design the attacks of the boss, she either falls over and turns into she turns into a finisher of some kind. So some characters you swap into like Nahon, and Nahon finishes the fight because you want Nahon later in the fight instead of him blowing his load in the beginning of the fight and then making it harder for you at the end. Stuff like that.
Yeah, it really depends
hmm
because uh yeah, the character you also have to compare against is her summer version because of the fact they're both light, so they both take up the Rosamia slot, right?
Right.
And the other one actually removes a buff reactively.
Yeah, and she's also a very strong CA support, and then does skill damage as a secondary while she's helping herself and the entire team CA. And
Yeah,
so
because
this
I was gonna run her with fifth because this fifth needs meter in order to do anything.
right. So I've seen, for example, Rosamia with Cosmos. I've seen Rosamia with I think Siegfried. I saw there are some new Agastia setups that use. Um, do I have Light Siegfried? Yes, I do. I think does Light Siegfried also? No, he doesn't. He doesn't consume his HP. Yeah. So anyway, but I've seen some new setups that involve her tanking a whole bunch, falling over, giving way to somebody else, or just if she doesn't die, then it's not like she's an embarrassing slot. She doesn't lose efficacy over time. She just casts skill 4 again, you know?
Yeah, the only thing issue would be if we get stunned.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, uh I think this is very solid.
Oh yeah, this is a very good kit.
Yeah. And so once again, the the main thing that gives us context on this is when Unite and Fight comes by and it's like, oh hey, here's days of jamming this character or something like that. Like I remember people saying after Water Unite and Fight, it's like everybody go and apologize to the Chat Noir Uncap. All right, in the rebalance.
He was an MVP for a lot of people.
Yeah. All right. Whoop. But yeah, so you now have the option of two Rosamias. One is CA, skill, and meter. One of them is tank and normal, like normal attack slash counter. And so
I'm gonna have to be stuck with the CA one because my grid is booty.
I'm I'm on
I do
Magna
not
as
have
well, but
Sandalphon.
yeah, we'll see what happens. I will um have to do things on the fly because this moves us on to our next character who came out, the unannounced one, because we've got Yukata Vikala. And it's uh, so um, Yukata Vikala kind of copies some of Halloween Vikala's homework, which makes sense. They're both fireworks themed and everything like that. But anyway, so here's Yukata Vikala. She
We're at
is
four elements of Vicky.
You're at four elements of Vicky. Yeah, dark, earth, water, and fire. Not fire, light.
No light. This is light. Yeah, advice coming.
Yeah. So um you go down to the following things first. So there's spinning sparklers over here, which is 10 hits of light damage. The number of hits is important. It makes her better for Zeus than she is for Magna because Magna is notably missing skill supplement. Um, Zeus has a very good base level skill supplement with the Cosmos Katana, and so I've been actually thinking about just you know doing the defensive Cosmos Katana grid with this character just because you know Symmetria over here with tempering and Garrison is just really good at long grindy fights with skill characters. And guess what's coming in a week? But anyway, I digress. So 10 hits, and then it leaves behind a debuff called Dory Enjoys the Festivities, which is a boost.
Dory's mouse activities.
Yeah. So while Dory is on there, it's a local debuff that is permanent with the asterisk. They've learned from what they did with Christmas Chicken. And if Vicky dies or leaves the front line somehow, then Dory, the debuff goes away. But for every 60 hits of damage dealt to the foe, then Dory does 2.02 million plane damage, and then leaves behind damage taken amplified
Or 22 hits.
for 22 hits. And so, this is the signature right here. You want to put on this debuff and then do as many hits as possible in order to trigger this. So how does she get all those hits? So, among other things, so Rat's All folks over here is 5 hits. But when she's got a buff that goes to level 3, then it's actually 10 hits, along with the minus attack, minus defense, and the dispel. So how does she get Festive Rat? Well, Festive Rat um, comes when allies deal skill damage 15 or more times to the target in one turn. And when that happens, she casts it. She gets Festive Rat level 1, and then based on all the level there, she'll first get boost to light allies attack, defense, triple attack, and dodge. Or sorry, that's it's a stack per level. And then at level 3, she also provides supplement light ally skill damage. So the whole goal here is to get to 15 hits of skill damage and then to 30 and then to 45.
Let's see here on turn 1, she does it by herself.
Yep. After that, then you'll want to have other characters who do a bunch of skill hits, which there's a free one who's very good at doing this with and who also does hit counts, which is Tuyen, for example. So
Her skill damage is not, because you need specifically skill damage.
mhm. Well, she does skill
And
damage after her attack for the new post attack passive that Tuyen has. Bow, because she swings and then let's see here. Bonus light damage to foe after normal attacks. I believe that counts as skill damage.
that only goes to 5, so you
Yeah,
need
that's
other
true. You
sources.
still need other sources. It's true. And even if you have like the bunny buff on her, which is a popular thing to do, that only goes up to 10. So you still need extra hits of something. So you have things like light mana
I think it was
diver. Well,
skill nod also does a lot of
yes.
skill damage.
I don't have skill knot personally, but she does. Um, the if you want to be like a light boogeyman, you can do a lot of skill hits as well. Um, but your goal is to just slam a bunch of skill hits and then get amp and supplement and just make all of those skill hits better. But there's our good old friend, the chairman of Light Aglavale right here, who also does a pretty good chunk of skill hits and pretty often as well because he has skill resets. So,
Well, he needs to be supplemented by Siang a lot, though.
mhm,
Vicky doesn't do anything to help that.
this is true. And Toyen also doesn't do anything to help that.
Yeah, because the old CA looping actually just focused on him CA looping.
Mhm.
and so you really couldn't actually move pieces around for that.
That's fair enough. But yeah, and then like Vicky's CA here. So when she does CA, she also ends the cooldown on her red skills. So once she CAs, then she can also provide that 15 hits if do a setup that gives her the meter to CA on turn uh, 1 or 2 or something like that. And then yeah, she also the way that you cheat out the duration of her buff, which is 5 out of 12 normally, is you CA more often. And so, there's a clear goal here. It's like find characters who deal the skill damage not only to ramp her up but also to benefit from the ramp up. Your uh like reward is consistent debuffing, um, and then like consistent dispel and the mitigation buff and refresh is also strong here.
Yeah, I don't know. Having debuff resistance on not a green button is really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess looking at characters that have debuff resistance in light,
Mhm.
fifth green button,
Yes.
Lucio 2 self,
Mhm.
uh, Mishra is targeted and not very good,
Yeah. Its time has come and gone.
and Robertina, who is going to be my MVP for this United fight.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's like I was looking up Grand Noah, and Grand Noah is mostly the dispel cancel.
Yeah, not having the debuff resistance hurt a lot last United fight.
Yes, yes, it did.
Uh, it sucked.
And we'll see what happens with Thief, and maybe they'll just let Thief rock and just say, yeah, if you have Thief, then feel free because this character, once she sees that you're debuffed, goes, okay, we're gonna stop this.
They better let her rock. I worked really hard for this character.
Same.
I had her transcended before she got the buffs.
Also the same. But yeah, Um, pretty clear goal. Works really well with a bunch of characters that we've named. Some limited, some not. I'm trying to think of who else just does a whole bunch of hits of light damage. Geisenborger does 20 of them, but doesn't do it that often.
Yeah, also the fact that if he guys works up front, he's also probably dying.
Yeah, because she has exactly one buff for him on a very long cooldown. Let's see here. EO was there if people want to go back to the old EO canon.
The issue is it's too slow.
It's very slow. But yeah, I mean, pretty clear goal, and um, I want them to provide more support for skill-based, like, because you've talked about the orchestra team. The orchestra team's really fun, but
There's a lot of support for skill based light. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that we don't have supplement skill damage in Magna. I have to switch to Zeus for this.
Yeah, but character wise, we have all everything.
That's true.
Like, well, the orchestra characters increases skill damage. Kukru, not Kukru, skill not puts a debuff on the foot that says they take more skill damage.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Like
anyway,
I
oh
would like to have I would and until UL came out, I would said I would like more support for skill based fire because otherwise I have to wait for summer every year.
yeah, very true. Yeah. Anyway, so anything else to say about Vicky? Light Vicky?
I don't like the design because it actually does too much.
Okay.
Like it's one issue I have like a lot of characters recently is that they bring characters that just do everything.
Hmm. Yeah.
And this the only thing this one doesn't do is clear you, but 100% debuff resistance.
Hmm. Yeah, boosted debuff resistance here. Um, she has a very light
Gives
amount
you
of healing.
chaser every turn.
Every turn? Wait, where is that?
Right, mousy multitasker before
Mousy multi.
attacking.
That's right. When she's level 3, that's right. Yeah. Basically, she wants to be paired up with other people do skill, and then if possible, it's a nice to have to get a bunch of meter from somewhere, some other source, because that's another thing that she doesn't do. But it's like one
Yeah,
thing on a checklist of 10.
the only thing she doesn't provide her is guaranteeing triple attack, and I'm like, thank God. She only gets 20%, and I'm like, that's good enough.
Light triple attack got shored up so much, like even in the non-Nehan bracket, just by Magna 3 coming out. Like just having one of the this good old Luminaria Saber Credo, which is a katana, is a lot of help with big triple attack and small triple attack on this thing.
Yeah, I just wish I had like this weapon in Primal,
Mhm.
because it still sucks trying to fit anything in the grid.
Mhm. All right. So, we move on to the one who was um announced, Yukata Seofon, who I haven't actually worked on yet because I've been working on things in advance of Unite and Fight while also playing a lot of Rucksack Battles.
Oh
But
yeah, I forgot. One other thing I have an issue with Vicky is like, why she have hype? I know why she has hype, but nothing supports hype in light.
mhm. Yeah, they just wanted to put it on there as a reference to some of her to her dark version basically.
Yeah, but it's like I know you use some things for flavor in this game, but it's like at least we need hype support at least before we can print a third character with hype.
The orchestra characters don't work with hype, was it?
Why would they need hype? They don't
Yeah,
attack.
right.
They do tuning. They're a music character.
That's right, it's tuning. All right. So, you gotta say a fun. The
I like the reflection.
Yeah, that art is pretty good. Hold on. Let's just uncap this boy real quick. Do 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 do. Uncap, uncap, uncap. Confirm. Yeah, that reflection that has our our belt and jacket boy, other Seophon, in there. It's pretty slick. All right. So anyway, uh, when we look at Seophon, we go straight down to the passives for Suave Sword Sovereign. So he has a max charge bar of 200. His charge bar gain can't be reduced. That's a
Which means it cannot be affected by certain things.
like falsehood and falsehood accessories. His CA does not use charge bar, so even if he makes it to 200 meter, he can't CA. What happens is, uh, he has to get something called Calm Days Windmill, and in order to get Calm Days Windmill, where is that? It is
He needs Blade Shine 5.
yeah. So how does he get to Blade Shine 5? It is, let's see here.
By attacking with 70 meter.
Okay. So he has to do that 5 times in order to get the full thing?
Correct. And when he is at 70 meter, he has guaranteed triple attack for that attack.
Mm-hmm. So, step 1, get him to 70 meter. Step 2, attack. He eats 70 of his meter, Zeta style, triple attacks. Then, the next time that happens, he gets he gets a boost to attack from the first Blade Shine. He gets a boost to crit for the second. He gets the Narmea style bonus superior elemental damage, so that it stacks with more things. Um, and then he gets amplify normal attack damage the fourth time it happens. And then the last one that he gets is damage cap up. And once you've gotten all 5 of those things, then he can CA.
Yeah, when he gets to level 5, his skill cooldowns will refresh. So he has access to 7 stars crackle, which is the thing that gives him the windmill.
Mm-hmm.
He gets started with sword flash, which gives him access to a one-time assassin that allows him to attack out of turn.
Mm-hmm. and then he hits Infinito Bagliore, which is a long a long cooldown dispel. It's 10 hits of dark damage, and it gives him 100 meter with which to swing with Suave Sword Sovereign again. So on the first turn, he has like 130, 140 meter, and then he feeds himself for at least like the first 3 to 4 turns just off of swinging. And then, I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, he, they've made a version of Seofon that doesn't really CA. He's not CA focused. He just swings in order to suit the element that he's in. And I don't know if there's much to say about it. He's not.
The,
Whoop, go ahead.
the nice things is that when he does CA, it is unchallenged
Hmm.
for that
For the
turn.
whole, for the whole team even. And so that's what, turn 6 or so that you get it.
At the earliest would be.
Yeah.
And what else is here? I do like that it does actually have some flavor to another Seophon as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Because
need
the
to do.
attack out turn is based off it, and taking counter is based off another Seophon.
Hmm. Yeah, he has no way to like raise his hostility, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's not the reason to be hitting this button in most cases. If
It's attack out turn.
Yeah, you attack out a turn in order, so he starts. Let's just say he starts at 40 meter because you have the wonder from having all the Eternals. You press this infinite bag on turn 1. You have 140 meter. Then you press this to attack out of turn. He eats 70 of his meter. So he goes from 140 down to 70 and then back over 100. He should go to 107. And so that feeds the next time when you actually hit attack. So he'll get the second blade shine. He'll go down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a fairly self-feeding cycle, especially with the uplift. So he basically feeds himself his whole first cycle.
And that's not like including like other characters existing.
Yeah.
Because
And
he cannot join in a chain burst normally. He just build meter naturally from other characters CAing.
hmm And unlike a lot of the other versions of this design that they've done, like he gets better over time instead of just spending everything turn 1, or um, the Bowman design that they keep going back to, where like the only thing he does is just swing and deal CA after, not deal CA, deal skill. And so
Yeah, there's only one skill damage on here.
for Seofon, yeah. And so I think it's an interesting design here. Like it's focused, it's strong, it has a clear goal. He makes it to his goal. All you need is time. And I think that's
Yeah,
Whoop, go ahead.
I think he more fits in mid range fights than anything
Mhm.
else
Mhm.
because his cooldowns are really long. He doesn't cheat out his cooldowns other than once he hits Blaze Shine 5. But even then, that's the mid range fight. It only happens once.
Yeah. It's very similar to Boogeyman, where they seem to be very happy with you fulfilled your condition. Now you get to have turn 1 again, and you hit all of these buttons, and now they're enhanced from you fulfilling your quest. And
Yeah, then he just hits hard for like normal attacking for the rest of his lifetime.
yep.
But
And
if it ends before turn like 10, well, that's fine.
mhm.
If the fight goes longer than like turn 13, then you have issues with your because of your cooldowns and not being able to CA.
Mhm. But yeah, like once again, focused and strong. Like I don't know if there's anything else I want to say about it. Uh, let's see. What else did we have on the agenda? Ah, right. So, have you had any time to go into April Fool's mode this year?
Not really. I know what it is,
Yeah,
and I don't have the brain power to do anything with it.
that's totally fine. It's one of those things where it's like if you like it, it's good, great. If you don't like it, then you know. It's a mini game. The thing that you're missing from not playing this mini game is something like 100 crystals or something like that. And you know, they gave you 3,000 for this mini game existing. Uh, just like what is it, Princess Grandmasters or whatever it was called. Uh, this I will be a little bit sad when this goes away, but also I will also be glad that I'm no longer spending like 3 hours a day playing this. But yeah, um, I it is a fun little game. I am glad to have spent about 2 days playing it. And once it's done, I will miss it. But I do wonder if they'll like try to add this into side stories at some point or something like that. They still haven't given us a mini game like arcade basically. Princess Connect has one. I envy it.
Yeah, but it also doesn't have the April Fool's thing there.
Yeah, true,
That was a separate app.
true. All right. Um, and then that's Rucksack Battles.